Let's talk Deadpool Wolverine. Hello, ladies and gents. I'm Connor Carter, and since I was a young lad, I have been an MCU fan probably since I was born. I grew up with the MCU, and I also grew up with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Even though by the time I was born, I didn't get to see his trilogy. Hugh Jackman, it's Wolverine. That's a different story. And that is my main interest of the film. And let's just say that me wearing this slightly goofy hat, and also this cool Wolverine shirt. This film did not disappoint with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. It exceeded all my expectations and more. And this is a spoiler-free review. It's basically the plot summary. Deadpool, to save his universe, teams up with a variant of Wolverine, as they must face Cassandra Nova, but on the path to save Deadpool's world. And again, this is not a spoiler. There will be no spoilers in this. This is a spoiler-free review. The trailers hit a lot. I know they weren't lying when they said they weren't showing nothing. In this film, there's so many things right off the bat. The story, so heartwarming. It definitely hits home. Definitely can be maybe a bit emotional, and definitely personal for our characters. Like the main theme of this is so good and so well handled, and fits perfectly with Wolverine and Deadpool. It just works. Honestly, the action works. And this film has probably the best opening to any of the Deadpools, any Marvel movie. In my opinion, it probably has the best end, or not ending, beginning. The end is also pretty good, and I can't wait to hopefully see more Deadpool and his shenanigans later on in the MCU. Hopefully in Secret Wars. Comedy hits home. If you're someone who's worried about that with Disney, they do let Ryan Reynolds do his thing as Deadpool. It's just as funny as the previous two films. It didn't hold back. The villain of this film, Cassandra Nova, she's intimidating and has probably one of the goriest kills in the MCU. And I want to say she's a top 10 villain, but I would say she's probably close. Again, depending on what you prefer in villain, may depend where she goes on your list, but for me, she definitely checked a lot of the boxes for close to top tier villain. This film does so much right. I think it's going to surpass a lot of people's expectations, if not most. This film definitely celebrates Fox, Marvel era. Like, everything that Fox did with the Marvel IP, it celebrates it. It pokes fun, but also honors the legacy of it. Because mind you, that's where Kevin Feige got started with that first Fox X-Men film. And if that wasn't successful, or if that never happened, we probably wouldn't have gotten Iron Man. We probably wouldn't have gotten Avengers. We wouldn't have gotten Avengers Endgame. And it honors that, especially honors the legacy of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine without destroying the end of Logan. Which, as someone who saw that when it came out, it's definitely nice to see them honor the end of that film and Hugh Jackman's legacy as Wolverine. It was definitely heartwarming, to me at least. I think it may be the same with most people who grew up with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, to see him back in the role. He he does not skip a beat for what has been like, I think 8 years now, roughly 7 years since he's donned the claws again, and he doesn't skip a beat. And his story and arc in the film is so well handled. It definitely fits with the character. Even though this is a different one, it definitely fits with this Wolverine and kind of like all Wolverines, and does it in such a cool way that definitely hit home. It was very emotional, which is good because a problem the MCU has had is too much comedy, not enough seriousness, or the story isn't good, or the action CGI is terrible. And while I can't understand that, I'm someone who's don't think the MCU has, I will say, it has dipped in quality, but it's not super bad. But this film definitely feels like old MCU. And I am so happy I got to see it without it being spoiled. Which is why I'm not spoiling this review for you guys. I will probably have a spoiler review sometime, maybe in the next few days or soon after this comes out. And now with my negatives, there's one scene towards about close to the third act with like a choice with Cassandra Nova that I was like you understand why they make that choice and how we got from that to the third act. But it kind of was like, oh, okay. I did not see that coming, but I understand. Sam, maybe not everyone's gonna have the same, like, little, like, that didn't really make sense why they would do that and not just skip over. But it still works. It may just be a me. It's just a me thing. I don't think anyone else would feel the same way. But I can't really argue anything. Like, they handled the cameos well. It doesn't feel like, oh, cameo in your face, like other movies, like The Flash from last year did. Terribly, which is a good thing this movie did not do that. Every cameo kind of handles it. I almost knocked that over. Like No Way Home, to where these cameos actually play a role into the film. The only cameo I'll say that didn't play a role in that film was Magna Docs, aka Daredevil. In this film, there isn't really a cameo that doesn't serve to the plot. Obviously, you got Deadpool side characters. They don't really like play a big role. Like obviously his love interest, Vanessa, Cyclops, Yu-Gi-Oh, all of them. Teenage Sonic, Warhead. I probably butchered that. They don't really play a big role, except for emotionally, in terms of Deadpool and wanting to save his reality. So they handled that pretty well as well. Of knowing what characters to use in this film and how much. And like, when to, set them aside to actually use them properly. They did a really good job. Some MCU movies have trouble doing that recently. In other films as well, like I said, The Flash did pretty bad. But the soundtrack, phenomenal. I still get the bye 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 stuck in my head. Also, I played it at the beginning of this. The score for action, out of a 10, I would give this probably a 9. Like, maybe even a 10. Like, the action is phenomenal. Comedy, definitely I'll give it a 9, or actually I'll give it an 8. Because similar to how the first two Deadpool films, some of the jokes kind of age poorly because obviously it's no longer 2016 or 2018. That's probably how this film will be. And like, 3 to 4 years. Some jokes may not hit as hard, but most of them will still. Story, 10 out of 10. I love the story. Even with that little bug I had earlier, the story still works. It still makes sense. It was just at the time I was like, oh, that didn't really make much sense. Feel like they could have done it differently, but it still works. Characters, again, 10 out of 10. You got Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. You got Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. And you got all the side characters in between. They all are great. They're all fun. The villain, Cassandra Nova, is pretty good. So, overall, 1 out of 10. I had to give this a 10. This is probably top 10, maybe top 5 MCU movie for me. Then again, that may change as time goes on. But this is really good. So, this is definitely a movie you should watch sooner rather than later. Definitely watch it in theaters. And have a good day. Have a great day.